Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to discuss some two-man training. Two-man training allows you to feel the interplay of forces between a partner and feel some contact, some of their weight and their energies, to feel how you would react and get used to this interplay between two people. So we're going to begin with the first two-man drill. It's going to be a climbing drill. So you will start by facing your partner in a right hand stance. He will also be in a right hand stance. You're going to push off your front foot, step back, allowing space for your partner to step in. He's going to step in with a thrusting punch along your center line from his lead leg, and you're going to defend with a forward punch, intercepting punch from your rear leg. You're going to punch thrusting from the back, elbow forward, keeping the forearm up, coming along the inside of his punch or her punch, punching in and intercepting so your arms clash. At this point, your opponent is going to sink their arm, sink their elbow, turning under, trying to punch underneath into your rib area. And you're going to feel this. So your partner, we're going to pause in this clasped position and we're going to feel as the person drops away. We're going to feel it in our arm and we're going to try and stick to them and we're going to follow. And we're going to sink our elbow down, guarding our ribs, sinking their arm, maintaining contact and feeling the interplay of forces between two people, feeling how we can catch a punch on our elbow whilst keeping our arm high. This may give us opportunities in a sparring situation to catch a punch on our elbow and punch in ourselves. It's very similar to the sinking of the sternum in Sambo Jin and in many of the first forms. First 8 movements we sink. So we clash with this punch. They come down, punch us in the ribs, and we sink, working with our partner, feeling the sensitivity, sinking down. We come across with our rear hand, grasping high up on their arm, making with the claw, and sliding down as we close our fingers tightly, sliding down to their wrist and pulling, drawing our partner across our body, bringing our arm up and striking down on the meaty part of their shoulder with a very relaxed hand, trying to follow through, sinking our ribs and our elbow, maintaining our stance, making sure we're very strong, gripping tightly with our fingers and drawing our elbow across our body, trying to move them from their center line and trying to create an imbalanced situation in our partner, turning their shoulders so we can strike down loosely and condition their shoulder, get them used to taking this sharp strike. So we strike down. On the partner's side, they punch and try and slip and punch our ribs. As we sink and grab their arm and pull them across, they should tighten their stance and loosen their shoulder, allowing their arm to draw across their body so that it doesn't pull them off their stance, so they can maintain their balance, so they can sink their ribs, turning their elbow in, lifting up and turning back and shaking our grip off with the yuku from shaking off the bridge from the second form, and shaking off our grip. As they shake off our grip, we come underneath and we use a splitting hand to open them, turning our arm in, sinking our ribs, sinking our elbow along the center line and grasping them by the throat. They should draw their jaw back, press the tongue on the roof of their mouth to tighten their throat at this time, so that you can grasp, using the claw to grasp around the muscles, not too hard, but allowing a feeling of where your fingers lie on your partner's neck and allowing them to feel the grasp on their neck and to become used to it, so it doesn't create a sense of panic when you're grasped by the throat or if this happens, something goes around your neck, it shouldn't make your nervous system shock you. You should be used to it and able to respond calmly. So you grasp them by the throat. Your partner, as they've been gripped by the throat, comes across with a covering hand, inward blocking hand, striking down with the bones of the wrist and the inside of the hand against the nerves in the top of the forearm, around 3 fingers down on the forearm on the top here, and they strike down across that, dragging your arm across, at which point you come with your hand you've been covering from your splitting hand. You come down on top of their hand and draw them across in the way they're going, adding force on, pulling them off balance if they haven't gripped their stance, if their shoulder's too tight. So then just relax their shoulder, allowing their arm to move, gripping their stance. You pull them offline, striking their shoulder. You then step back and they step in again, striking on the other side. You clash, feeling their energy, coming up with your elbow, barring with your forearm, clashing across them. They sink, you sink with them, trying to stick, feeling sensitivity. You grasp their arm, pulling them offline, striking their shoulder. They use yuku to shake your grip off. You use your splitting hand, opening, sinking the other hand and grasping them by the throat. They come across, clearing your grip off. You come with your other hand, grasping, pulling them offline as you draw this hand up and strike their other shoulder. You then step back and repeat this. You do as many as you feel that is necessary, concentrating on the flow. Don't try and go too fast. Try and keep your movement smooth. The speed will come with smoothness. So spend time feeling the energies of your partner, feeling the interplay of forces, and try and work with them to increase your sensitivity and your awareness of their balance through your bridge. The next exercise we're going to do is going to be an elbow pick exercise. It begins the same, facing your partner in a mirrored stance, same stance. Step back one so your partner can step in on you. Stepping in, grasping the floor, transferring their body weight evenly and placing their feet, gripping with their toes and thrusting forward with their punch along your center line. As you step back, you grasp the floor, root, make sure you're not too rear weighted, too front weighted, but evenly 50-50, gripping with the toes, and you punch up along the inside of their punch, intercepting their punch on your forearm and sliding along, making sure to maintain distance so we don't strike each other in the partner practice. As you reach the top of the bridge, they will sink again, trying to punch underneath, but instead of sinking your elbow this time, you circle around and grasp their elbow, grasping the bones in their elbow joint where the joint flares. You're going to grasp their elbow and lift it up and press it into their center line with your hand upside down. As you lift it, you're going to thrust punch in underneath their arm. They're going to respond by the arm that's been grasped is going to sink with cup choi, crushing bridge, drawing their wrist back and crushing across your arm, preventing you from striking their rib. They're then going to turn their hand, going to a center knuckle fist, and they're going to twist their elbow joint, twisting against their wrist joint, locking against their shoulder joint, and twisting their body, trying to drive this knuckle in between your ribs, trying to split your ribs apart with this punch. As they do this, you're going to stick to them with this arm that you've punched forward with. You're going to feel their energy and you're going to roll, turning your elbow, turning your shoulders and rolling with your deflecting arm feeling as their skin slides across, rolling your bones, turning them and moving them off to the side. You're then going to grasp their arm and slide along it as you close your claw, sliding along the forearm, jamming against the hand, and then twisting as you draw your hand out and hammer fisting down. This would be applied against the elbow, but in the purposes of the drill, your partner will raise their rear hand and you will be able to bring your elbow past their arm and hammer fist down, conditioning your fist against their palm. But in reality, this would be a hammer fist across the elbow, causing damage, dislocation, damage to the ligaments, etc. So at this point, you'll release your partner, step back, they will punch in on the other side, you will punch with your intercepting hand, clashing across the inside of their punch, twisting your wrist, moving it outward, keeping your elbow and your structure, using your sternum, closing your ribs. They're going to sink and punch underneath. You're going to come around their arm, feeling with the edge of your arm and the edge of your wrist, feeling the bones in their elbow, and you're going to grasp it and lift, and then you're going to punch in upside down with your phoenix, targeting underneath their ribcage, underneath their pectoral muscle here. And we're going to strike forward with our upside down hand. They're going to take a short rat step back and sink their elbow and their wrist, blocking your and jamming your arm. They're then going to turn their arm and punch in with their elbow locked structure, using their body weight, trying to drive their fist into your rib, and you're going to stick to it with this arm, turning, rolling them, deflecting them off to one side, grasping their arm, pulling, twisting as you draw out, and you're going to hammer fist down on their hand, completing this drill. Feeling the rolling. As something presses onto your arm, you can roll the bones in your arm and deflect it. As it passes, you can grasp. This allows you to strike underneath or draw out and attack the arm itself. These things should become well drilled and reflex actions that you can use from your sensitivity. Maybe sometimes in close combat you won't have time to see punches, so the sensitivity of feeling your opponent's balance and feeling their limbs moving is going to be an invaluable skill, and this skill is going to be able to be developed through training with your partners and practicing your skills and feeling your sensitivity. The next drill we're going to do is going to be a partner drill related to the second form, beginning with a palm. You're going to sink your elbow across with a covering hand, covering that palm, coming in, incepting the force, using the bones of your forearm and your elbow to cover your center line. And then you're going to fire this, trying to drag the backs of your fingers across the person's eye. So as your wrist comes across, you're going to try and drag your fingers across their eye, and they're going to stick to you and deflect you outwards with their outward cutting hand, the Gotsa. So they're going to turn their wrist outward and they're going to deflect you out to the side. We're going to be careful as we do this. We're going to be careful of our opponent's eyes. We're going to feel the sensitivity, and we're going to move reasonably slowly and feel the interplay of forces between our partner. This is not a speed drill. This is a drill for feeling the forces and the interplay of energies between your partner. This is a sensitivity based drill, not a drill to be flicking against your opponent's eye. As we come out and they deflect us, they cut out, then they sink their rib, sinking their elbow, driving a punch in from this hand that they've just cut outward, trying to drive a punch into our midline, into our heart or our liver, and we sink our hand that's just been deflected, turning our thumb, creating a claw, hooking onto their arm, grasping it and pulling it out to one side. And as we pull them out to one side, we strike forward with our bone of our forearm. As we form a ginger fist, this will make this bone more prominent, and we're going to draw them and strike out, and they're going to block with their forearm. Nice and heavy. Bang. They're then going to step back. We're going to step forward. We're going to strike with the palm. They're going to guard with their punch. We'll clash. They'll sink and punch the center line. As we sink our elbow across, we're going to flick up with our hand. They're going to cut us outward. We're going to feel it. We're not going to let them pull our body off balance. We're going to allow our arm to be soft. As they cut us out, they're going to sink and punch in, coming into our body, and we're going to turn our thumb using the heel of our palm to slide along their forearm, hooking on and grasping, sliding down, guiding it past us and striking with our forearm over our other arm, which they block with an upright, nice heavy forearm block. This is the same as the end of the second form, the palm inward, outward, downward section. It shows itself exactly the same in this two-man drill. The only thing different, you do some other things with your rear arm, but this is teaching you to stick with your arm, feel forces moving in and out, grasping and pulling, controlling the balance of your opponent if you can. And it's their job to maintain their balance, maintain the softness in their shoulders. Don't allow the person to move your spine offline and move you off balance. These are some two-man drills that we can use for increasing our sensitivity, increasing our combat skills, and making us able to perform better in combat. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.